There was a study that was done and they compared the results of, and this was a Google algorithm predicting whether or not somebody would have breast cancer, right? And it was analyzing the radiographs. And the result of that study was actually the radiograph picked up certain types of cancer or certain types of cells, and then the doctors picked up different kinds of cells, right? And so neither one was perfect, but you combine the two, and it's this augmentation of human capability with these AI models. And my favorite story is actually this concept of bionic chess. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
So you know who Garry Kasparov is, like the chess grandmaster, 1997, was defeated by Deep Blue. So there's this story about him where he was very upset, right? But then afterwards, they went through, he was part of this movement to have competitions. They're called bionic chess or centaur chess, where basically you would have teams that are comprised of a person and whatever computer algorithm they want to bring, right? And when they first had this contest, you would think, okay, maybe if they had a grandmaster paired with a supercomputer with the best algorithms, that's what's going to win, right? And what he found was actually that's not the case. It turned out to be, I believe it was a few accountants, people who were who understood chess, right? They were amateur chess players. Not paired with supercomputers, they were paired with, they had multiple sets of computers. What they found out was that the winners knew which system to use at what time. So they were strategists. They understood the algorithms enough, and they understood the context enough about what's happening on the chessboard to figure out which algorithm to use, right? And that completely can apply here in the legal industry. But what I'm seeing is really, it's a competition between algorithms, right?
A point that you're making in there that I find very interesting is like, it's not like one technology, one chess. As it turns out, a person aided by artificial intelligence is what is the best recipe for winning chess. And it feels like there's an analogy within our industry about how, and an almost an incorrect framing of the conversation as if AI is going to replace something. And that's probably not what's going to happen, right? That's not how it works in chess. Probably isn't going to be how it works here. And I wonder, in your experience, like how does that ring true, that this is still a people-driven process, but there's almost a misunderstanding of what's happening?
Yeah, and yes, I think that that's absolutely true. I think that we love to say the robot's going to take our job because it's just an easy way of saying, I don't need to learn that, or I'm not going to learn that. I'm going to become this fantastic expert that doesn't need all this technology. But that's not true, right? The robot's not taking anyone's job. I think that people need to be able to focus on what's out there, being able to pull the right things to do their job. And also remember that what is the saying? If you only have a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. And that's the whole thing. We need to have an entire toolbox of things that we can rely on so that we will adopt and change as technology does, so that when the robots come, we just work with the robots. Somebody has to man the robots.
I think in particularly machine learning and supervised learning, which is the type of artificial intelligence we tend to apply in eDiscovery, baked into its very nature is this idea of training. Like, it has to be trained. Computers don't understand what they're looking for. In some industries like chess, you have a very finite set of things that you need to train it on, and then it is what it is at that point, right? But we're not in a finite chessboard where there's only, even if there's 1 million potential moves, 1 million's not that much to a computer. We're in a situation where we're trying to identify privilege in different contexts. We're trying to identify responsiveness in different contexts. This is not even 1 million potential outcomes. There's infinite number of types of documents and different reasons for this. So it seems like the training component of it, the building of the model component of it, is the part that's it's going to stay around for a long time, and that's what's going to be the thing that pushes us to be able to leverage these things in an appropriate way, as opposed to this false dichotomy between the machines are replacing us. Well, someone needs to train them perpetually,
right?